Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Our topic today is Image of the Beast. Is it about to arrive? And for a couple of different reasons, it may either already have arrived or about to arrive. Okay, so first of all, I'm asked by our staff to always remember to say to you, please subscribe and click the bell and share with your friends. Also want to remind you that Bible study is getting a lot of people watching it, and they're really liking the Bible study. It live streams every Friday evening at 6:30 to 8 Central Standard Time. And you can see it on Prophecy Club, Facebook, and YouTube. It is not just prophecy. We actually do something rare at our Bible study. We read the Bible. Now, you may be saying, well, why read the Bible? I already read it before. Well, I've read it before, too. I'm doing this Bible study first for me. Even though I've been doing a Bible study most every Friday night since about 1987, I still need to go through it again because I forget. It's like the kingdom of God is like riding a bicycle. If you're coasting, you must be going downhill. We've always got to continue to try to get closer to the Lord, learn more about the Bible and Him and His ways. And if we don't, then we by default kind of fall into the world. So I strongly encourage you to come Friday night to the Bible study and come and join us. You can leave comments and things like that. Anyway, also I'm asked by our staff to say, look, it's summertime. Now I know you may be saying, well, yeah, well, I like summertime. Well, I like summertime too. But what happens is our mailbox or our donation box just kind of dries up because everybody's going on vacation. And so if God has blessed you and you can help us right now, please remember your Prophecy Club, because yes, we still do need your donations and your prayers. Okay, so I'm going to say like Monday or Tuesday night in my prayer closet, I asked the Lord to speak to Pastor Massey again. Now, why Pastor Massey? A good guy. He's been to our house several times. Leslie's been on several ministry tours with him, and I went on a couple myself. And I know him and his wife, but they're not prophecy students. When I talk on Bible prophecy, like at our crusades, he's one of the crusade ministers, his eyes just kind of cross. He doesn't get all this Bible prophecy stuff. He's a miracles ministry guy. He travels around the world and has a miracles ministry. So in that he's not into prophecy, I like asking the Lord to speak to him, because I know that when he hears something about prophecy about the end of the world, it's not him asking. It's because the Lord answered my prayer and sent it over to him. So about Monday, Tuesday night, I said, Lord, would you speak to Pastor Massey again and tell him what is coming? So I guess this was Thursday morning he called, and he said, I had 2 dreams in one night. So I immediately opened Word and I started typing as fast as I could. But they were short dreams. So he said, in this first dream, I went to a Costco for some gasoline. They were out of gasoline. So I called AAA, and they brought me a couple of gallons, just enough to get me home from the gasoline station. And he said, well, I need more than just 2 gallons. He said, we can't get you any more. There is not any more gasoline. As in, there's not any more gasoline at Costco or the other stations, and we don't have any more gasoline. We're just bringing you enough to get you home, period. He said, then the same night, I saw an earthquake. He said, I saw a bunch of homes falling, and then there was no food. So no gasoline, then no food. Now, why is that important? I didn't see this one coming. But if you think about it, who controls the electricity in America? The answer is the Molochs. Who controls the food? The Molochs. Who wants to put the Antichrist on the throne? The Molochs. Now remember, Henry Kissinger said, he who controls, let me get it right here, controls food, controls the people. He who controls the energy can control whole continents, but he who controls the money can control the world. That's their objective. So now we know that not only is there an electrical outage coming, but also apparently they're going to take away our gasoline. You talk about a problem. When they take away the gasoline, they take away the food, how many Americans would starve? The answer is a lot. And I can't do anything about your gasoline problem, but I can help you with the electrical problem if you go to solarsurge.net. Good friend Joe there can help you. Also, if you want to get food, I'll send you to josephkitchen.com. About $1,000 per person per year gets you long-term emergency stored food. It's wheat, and it stores well. Okay, let's go on. So I got to give you a little background here before we're going to be talking about the image of the beast. So Revelation 13:11 is talking about the false prophet. The first 10 verses talking about the Antichrist and the world government rising. But starting in verse 11, it jumps to talking about the first prophet, or the false prophet. I beheld another beast rising, coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Your false prophet. I'm not going into the details there. He exercises all the power of the first beast before him, and he causeth the earth and them that dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. So I believe it'll be a future pope, possibly even this pope. It'll be a pope. I'm convinced of that. And he's going to say, everybody got to worship that guy over there. In other words, the religious guy says that guy is God. Everybody got to worship him. And he doeth great wonders. Who? This is the false prophet. He doeth great wonders so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. And that's probably just using some kind of high technology. Maybe it's even lasers from space. I don't know. And he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the first beast, or the Antichrist, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image. That's the point of the program today. Okay, so who is commanding the image to be made? The false prophet. The false prophet commands the world to make an image of the Antichrist that was wounded and either dies or appears to die, but he comes back to life. That's the point. Saying to them that they should make an image of the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live, and he had power to give life to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. I believe that image, the reason the Bible calls it an image, is it is a clone. Based upon some information I'm about to give you, I personally believe that image, that clone, is not going to be just flesh and blood, and it's not going to be made in the image of God. It's going to be made in the image of the devil, or the Antichrist. I think it will look human, but it is not going to be totally human. It's not going to be totally flesh. I believe that somehow it will be tied into quantum computers. And we compare a quantum computer. Let's take the fastest computer humans have ever made. Compare that to you turning on your garden hose full blast. Compare the amount of water coming out of your garden hose compared to Niagara Falls. That's how much faster a quantum computer that is given to us from off-world entities, that's how much faster it is. So this flesh, that's not total flesh. This computer, that's not total computer. This half flesh, half computer, somehow flesh is it explains here in just a second. Melds together so that he had power to give life to the image of the beast. In other words, it would normally have life. Should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So, you got it? So the Antichrist comes along first. The false prophet says everybody got to worship him. The false prophet says everybody on the earth has to make an image to the Antichrist. The image of the Antichrist then requires everybody to worship the image of the Antichrist, and of course also the Antichrist. And if they don't, they can't buy or sell. They have no access to the world financial system. That's one world financial system. There's 3 things. One world government, one world financial system, one world religion. Now, let me go to the point here. Again, we're talking about the image of the beast. This was a few months back. technological singularity by 2045. The article says, futurists predict the point where humans and machines become one. AI is the root of the concept in futurism called technological singularity. Remember that word, singularity. In other words, the melding of flesh and machine. That's what they're talking about, the melding of flesh and machine. Today, the singularity refers to the hypothetical point in time with which AI, with human-level abilities, becomes so advanced that it will irreversibly change human civilization. Stan, are you talking about something like the Terminator? No, because the Terminator was all robot, just covered with skin. What we've been told from two different sources is that it's not that. It's going to be the melding of metal and flesh. Let me say it again. The melding of metal and flesh. The article goes on to say, brain implants as the first stage. That's the basic stuff. Now remember, the laboratories underneath the earth have unlimited funding, and back in 1994, they were about 25 years ahead of the laboratories on the surface. Today, who knows? They're probably 100 years ahead. They've got technology we have no idea that could even be made, and they've already got it working. To understand why this isn't the stuff of fairy tales, we need to only look as far as recent developments in brain-computer interfaces. Elon Musk's company Neuralink is seeking permission from the FDA to begin human trials for its brain interface technology. That's old technology. Let's go on. Here we go. Scientists in Japan create mice by using two fathers. Okay, so we're already, this is on the surface, trying to meld, do all kinds of things with humans, in this case mice, and amazing things. Now, what I'm talking about is a part human, a part computer that looks human, but has access to all intelligence on Earth, going to be able to solve all kinds of problems, will require humans to worship it. And this we do know is the number of the name, or this is actually a 666, and this is where and pretty much like what the mark of the beast will look like. There you go. If it doesn't exactly look like that, believe me, when they come out, you will recognize it. You'll say, yep, that's real close to what Stan talked about. So just kind of let that burn into your memory. By the way, I have a book out that explains it more in detail. Miss the Mark, prophecyclub.com. All right, I want to get to this. 5/3/2022, Jason Meeks had this dream. He says, I have a view from above the most beautiful yacht I have ever seen sitting on a wide river in France. The bottom and sides are mahogany. The top is glass. Anyone inside has a 360-degree view. I zoom into the yacht, and Emmanuel Macron is showing a young man some paintings on the yacht. Two other high school boys are sitting at another table. Macron was wooing them like a man woos a girl on a date. I heard a voice say, this man has no interest in women. Now, we're not trying to beat up on Emmanuel Macron, nor are we saying he's the Antichrist. The dream cuts to a research facility hidden in the French Alps. This is the point I'm trying to get to. With no roads leading to it, scientists were researching how to mix humans with robots. Are you listening? Scientists are trying to mix flesh and metal, flesh and computers. You got it? Not like the Terminator movies with a robot inside and skin on the outside. This was much more advanced. I was shown inside their skull. It was truly part human and part machine, or part computer, I would say. The brain was human, but other pieces were wire. Some parts steel instead of bone with blood vessels. Other parts were human muscle overlapping steel parts. Look, you can't make this up. You can't make up a dream like this, okay? All the parts were melded together in a fashion, listen carefully, that made it almost impossible to tell where human ended and machine began. I'm going to read that again. All the parts were melded together in a fashion that made it almost impossible to tell where human ended and machine began. That's the image of the beast. Then I heard the words, he is trying to make the image of the beast. Now, there are some people that believe that Emmanuel Macron is the Antichrist. One day will be introduced as the Antichrist. So, and I'm not saying he is yet, but if he is, that would make perfect sense that he's trying to come up with the image of the beast, wouldn't it? There's more. Now let's jump to Betty Stevens back in 2021. I was asleep. I was taken out of my body to this place underneath the earth. I saw computers, and I felt a hand on my shoulder and a voice close behind me say, "Watch and take note. It is much to your advantage to know the truth. Take a closer look." I believe God is speaking to her. More importantly, I believe God is showing us what the devil is doing if we have eyes to see and ears to hear. I could zoom in and I saw a black box with many knobs and controls. The voice spoke again. It will be a commanding device for giants. He called them Nephilim. I saw cots and tables on wheels with bodies under covers. They were wheeled across the room. Robots were escorted in and put on tables. They were making robots, high advanced technology robots. I saw men in white coats looking at the black box turning knobs. I heard a shrill whistle. This would not be heard by regular human ears. I heard it because I was in the spirit. I saw a vision like a TV screen similar to a computer screen. And I saw giants appear on the screen. They looked human, yet their stance, their fierceness, and their evil power radiated just from looking at the screen. It was not regular human power. This was beyond human. Now, why are they doing this? Oh, I know you're going to say, because they want to take over the world. Yes, but that's not their ultimate objective. You see, Lucifer is telling all of his people that the day of Armageddon is going to be the day that they put down, as they call Jesus, the Nazarene. So he's gathering all of the muster from Lucifer and all of his fallen angels, all of his Nephilim, all of his half-breeds, all of the armies of the earth, all of the high technology, all of the aliens. He's gathering everything he possibly can because he is going to make his best effort to defeat Jesus at Armageddon. And that's the reason they come down to the valley of Jehoshaphat, the valley of Jezreel, and then Jesus returns and the blood rises to the horse bridles by the space of 1,600 furlongs. These people actually believe that they can develop so much advanced technology they can beat Jesus. Well, it's the truth. They really do. Now, look, the devil threw his tail out, and I don't think that was something like that. I think it was his lie. He spun his tail and drew a third part of the earth, or a third part of the stars, or the third part of the angels, and did throw them to the earth. In other words, this devil is very deceptive. He can lie better than anybody on earth. And that's what he's doing. He's lied to all of his people. They believe him, and they're trying to make an army that can defeat Jesus, period. That's exactly what's going on here. But in the meantime, it's also going to be used to see that every knee bows, every tongue confesses that the Antichrist is Jesus, or Antichrist is God, because he sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. It was not regular human power. This was beyond human. It was beyond human reasonable expectations, and I saw enough to know that they are perfecting giants down in Antarctica. That's not the first time I've heard that either. This will be revealed. This is coming to the earth. The black machine moved quite slowly. All of a sudden, the screen went blank. And the Lord said, "You have been given this vision to share precisely as you have heard and seen it. You are to give this precisely with no big explanations, just as you were shown." Why? Because if we'll listen, God's talking. He's trying to warn us what is coming so that we won't fall, so that we aren't surprised. But how many people will even listen? I can tell you, you try to, if you send this over your friends, they'll just say, this is garbage, this is rubbish, this guy's a hole in his head. But when this comes, they'll wish they'd listened. The Lord continued, please pay attention now. I show you the seven thunders. In that moment, I heard such crashing and bouts of thunderbolts of lightning all around and through the whole place. Massive crashing of thunder and lightning. I heard these words from the thunder and lightning. It was a mixture of thunder and voices saying, release the giants upon the earth. I remember several friends of mine that were prophecy students, we would often say, so what did the seven thunders say? Because nobody knew. Now we know. In other words, this is one person saying the seven thunders said, release the giants upon the earth, but I've got a second confirming voice. So here is a second confirming voice on release the giants. So I put this out, and I got this email back, and it says, I received an email telling me of your Seven Thunders YouTube video. I received a word from the Heavenly Father in 2018 about that, as well as published it in my blog. This is what the Seven Thunders say, release the giants. So I went to her blog, and yep, sure enough, on her blog, she did have it saying it is release the giants. So that's two people. The Bible says on the mouth of two or three witnesses, let a thing be established. That's two people saying the seven thunders said release the giants. So let me remind you, we're looking at 5 active prophecies. We have 11 prophecies that say the dollar is going to fall. I believe it's already in progress. We've talked about it a lot of times. If you haven't heard that, go back and listen to other videos. If you want to do something about it, then I can't give you financial advice, but I recommend you go to cornerstoneassetmetals.com. They absolutely love Prophecy Club people because they know what's going on, and they can give you financial advice. Just call. You don't have to do anything. Just call and say, yeah, okay, here's my situation. What do you think? What's your advice? And listen, see what they have to say, see if they can help you. Second thing is we have 14 prophecies saying that there's a food shortage coming. We've covered a lot about that, and for that, we'll send you to josephkitchen.com because most of these other places are $9,000 or $10,000 to feed one person for 1 year. I don't know about you, but I can't afford that. But Joseph Kitchen can show you how to do it for about $1,000 to feed one person for 1 year. That's a good deal. josephskitchen.com, promo code prophecy. And if you want your car to start, if you want your refrigerators and your computers to still run, if there is an EMP or a suitcase nuke going off close to you, we'll send you to empshield.com. This is what it looks like. All you got to do, put the red to the red, the black to the black, the green to the body of the car. Then you peel off the back of this, stick it under the hood someplace. They've got videos at empshield.com show you how to put it on. I've got it on our cars, got it on our house. And that way, when the EMP hits, hopefully it does its job and your car still starts. And of course, that's going to be very, very important in a time of trouble to have a car that starts. We've got 17 prophecies says that a meteor causes a tsunami and an earthquake. And for that, again, we'll send josephkitchen.com. We've got 7 prophecies say that there's going to be a surprise Russian nuclear attack. The most credible of those, of course, is Dmitry Duduman. And for that information, I'll send you to prophecyclub.com. There you can get a book called Warnings to America, prophecyclub.com. And if God has blessed you and you can help us, now would be a real good time. Summer's really slow for us. Let's talk about Joseph Kitchen. I actually cooked this loaf of bread you're seeing here. Takes me about 10 minutes to put the ingredients together, put it into a bread machine, push a button, 2 hours to 20 minutes later, I get a loaf of bread out like that. Now, if you cut that loaf of bread that weighs about 3 pounds, the loaves you get in the store have most of the good stuff removed. The loaves you get in the store are about 1 pound. That's 3 pounds because it's got the good stuff still in it. Cut that into 14 slices, and if I eat a slice in the morning and the afternoon, I'm satisfied. So on that basis, One loaf can sustain, I didn't say it's everything we want, can sustain one person for a week. Based upon that, it'll get you excellent nutrition. It tastes good, long storage life, 10 minutes to combine the ingredients, 2 hours, 20 minutes to make it. Other wheat that you order arrives in paper bags, which means bugs, rice, humidity can get a hold of it and ruin it. But at Joseph's Kitchen, they send it out in 100 mil thick buckets. Gives you long shelf life. It's stackable. It's nitrogen infuses that hopefully gives it a much longer shelf life, kills bugs and things like that. Easily resealable, keep in a climate-controlled area. And they have it in stock. This is a picture, an actual picture of part of the warehouse. Here's another picture of these. Actually, each one of those boxes holds 2,500 pounds of wheat. And I think they've got 54 of those boxes, a bunch of them. So Joseph's Kitchen can ship it to you right now. You go to most of these places, they say out of stock. So here's what you want to do. Everybody needs to get a machine package. These are the things that you need to grind the wheat berries. Put them into a grinder. 30 seconds later, you have flour. You put that into the bread machine along with 6 other ingredients. Push about 2 hours, 20 minutes later, you have a nice hot loaf of whole wheat bread. Then you have to decide how much food you want. You want food 2 people 1 year, 4 people 1 year, 6 people 1 year. And if you want to make certain you have it when the electricity goes down, you can also get yourself a solar generator, all at josephskitchen.com. josephskitchen.com. Terry Saka, Cornerstone, assetmetals.com. The world seems to be falling apart financially. Why should they call cornerstoneassetmetals.com today?
Well, the FDIC insurance fund is now empty. Not only is it empty, it's at zero. So now all bank bailouts are going to have to come from taxpayers. This could result in trillions of new currency notes being printed. The more they print, the more inflation we're going to have, potentially hyperinflation, and we need to protect ourselves away from that dollar.
CornerstoneAssetMetals.com. Go online or give them a call at 888-747-3309. CornerstoneAssetMetals.com. You don't have to get anything today. Just give them a call and say, hey, here's my situation. What do you suggest? Next is, I'll send you to EMPShield.com. If you use the promo word prophecy, you get a $50 discount. What is that? Well, it looks like this. This is the one that goes into a car, okay? And you put the red wire to the red side of the battery. You put the black wire to the black side of the battery, and the green one attaches to the body of the car. Then you peel it off right back here. Just peel that off, stick it inside of the engine compartment of your car. And the whole point is when the electricity goes off or when some kind of a suitcase nuclear device goes off, this is supposed to be able to stop that device from destroying every computer chip in your car. Because if every computer chip is destroyed in your car these days, you couldn't possibly replace them all. Throw the car away. So, EMPShield.com, promo code prophecy. I am having another level 2. Level 2 School of the Watchmen's Conference, and I'm calling this a teacher's course. It's going to be September 15 and 16. You can go to prophecyclub.com, and it'll tell you all of the details about it. And it gives you all of the requirements. I'll let you read that online. However, the big question is you're going to be saying, well, what's the difference between level 1 and level 2? Well, lots. Level 1 was primarily reading through most of the book of Revelation and teaching it. That's not be level 2. Yes, we will do some reading, but this one is designed to make you a teacher of Bible prophecy, which, by the way, our office wants to know if you went through level 1 and if you have taught or have been invited to teach from the book of Revelation and you went through level 1, send me an email. I'd like to know that. I know there's been at least one. I think there's 2, maybe more. Anyway, I'd like to know. So level 2 is to teach you to the point to where you can be qualified to actually teach the book of Revelation. Now, I can tell you right up front, we're going to have a level 3, God willing. And in that one, I'm going to require people to memorize the book of Revelation to come to level 3. And so there's going to be 1 year's difference between level 2 and level 3. It took me a year to memorize it. So I figure it'll take you a year to memorize it. Some of you may even faster. So go to prophecyclub.com and it'll give you all the details, tells you all about some of the difficult questions and things like that we're going to cover in level 2. Level 2 is going to get you real close to being a qualified teacher of Revelation. But by the time you get through level 3, having memorized the book, pastor's going to listen to you. And that's where we're going with this. Also, I'd recommend you go and get yourself a Berkey water filter. And yes, we do have Berkeys all in stock now. Also, we have potassium iodate pills, which are what you take inside of once a radioactive unit has happened in your area. As far as Berkey water filters, this is one thing you want to be sure to do is get some extra filters. This is the minimum most people will get is this one right here. I get the Crown Berkey right here. This is the one I have, this one I use. And I have about 8 extra filters with me too, because if you're using clean water, they'll last a year or 2. But if you're using rainwater or muddy water, then they clog up a whole lot faster. So you want to have some extra filters.